Mr. Echo by DNA. What is your first memory? Was it happy, sad, perhaps indifferent? My first memory was maybe around 3 years old. I was talking to my friend, Mr. Echo. He didn't really have a name, but he has always been there in my life, following me, echoing out a story as he tells me what I'm doing. He's silly like that. Anyways, it was the day that I found out that I was special and other people could not hear Mr. Echo. I remember feeling so afraid, not for myself, for them. I heard Mr. Echo repeating my thoughts to me. How do they go through their day without the help of a Mr. Echo? They must feel so alone all the time. I learned to keep Mr. Echo to myself. People seemed to get uncomfortable when I talked about him. He was my closest, bestest friend ever. He would always agree with me, play with me, and tell me stories. At night, sometimes he would go over what we did that day. Other times, he would make things up and tell me about great adventures that we never actually went on. He would even tell me about my dreams. Sometimes, but he seemed to forget about them rather quickly, so he would have to tell me right after we wake up. Years that seemed so slow in the moment passed by in the blink of an eye when looking back. I grew up much like any other kid, and from the outside no one would have ever guessed that I was different in any way. But they could never guess that I was lucky enough to have my best friend always with me and helping me. He would help remind me of the answers to questions at school. He helped me learn to talk to my crush, and he helped me move on when we inevitably broke up, like most youthful relationships do. I'm now technically an adult. I don't always feel like I'm one, but at 19 I can vote, and I'm working a job. And I guess that's all it takes. Mr. Echo and I sometimes talk about whether I should go to college. We go back and forth on whether it's a good idea. I don't know when this started, but lately Mr. Echo has turned hurtful. We've had hard times in the past, but not like this. Every word he seems to say is dripping with paranoia and hateful accusations. He tells me that my partner doesn't love me and that they're cheating on me. He says that my friends don't actually like me. They think I'm a joke. I try to ignore him as best I can, but I've noticed how my friends always quietly chuckle and laugh when I leave, and how my partner seems to be growing distant and doesn't want me to touch them sometimes. Mr. Echo is telling me that they're all going to leave me. He tells me that he would leave me if he was them. 2 weeks ago, my partner finally broke up with me. I knew it was coming thanks to Mr. Echo constantly telling me about it for months now, but it still hurts, and I don't know what to do. Waking up, I hear his voice. Why even bother getting up? It's not like what you do matters. I do my best to ignore it, and I push through, getting myself out of bed and staggering into the bathroom. As I brush my teeth in front of the mirror, he tells me, "You look like shit. You're fat, your skin is blotchy, and no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to hide it." I feel tears start to build up in my eyes. Words cut deeply into a place where I'm very vulnerable. He always knows the best way to attack me. In truth, I feel like he knows me better than I know myself. I try to pull the tears in and finish getting ready for the day, ignoring his voice as best I can. At work, I smile. I try to act friendly to the customers while Mr. Echo tells me, "You're messing up. They hate you. You hate them. You want them to leave you alone. Why won't they leave you alone? You want to make them leave you alone. He keeps talking throughout my entire shift. I come home to an empty house. By this time, I'm so mentally and physically exhausted from the effort of trying to ignore Mr. Echo that I just go to my bed and lay down, barely bothering to kick my shoes off before putting on some random show to drown out his voice. I started taking sleeping pills to try and pass out quickly when home, because sleep is the only time it doesn't hurt. Trying to work through an ever-ending torrent of insults and anger from Mr. Echo is hell, but in ways, it is so much better than on the days I have off of work, where I sometimes don't even get out of bed, and I just lay there while he tears me down. Mr. Echo has changed again. He started to plan out my death. Pick up a rope at the hardware store, take your clothing out of the closet, make a noose, and hang it up with the closet bar. Take sleeping pills, and just do it. No one will care. No one will miss you. Day after day, he keeps telling me different ways to kill myself. Even just walking down the street, I hear him say, "Hey, see that big truck? Just jump in front of it, and it will do the rest of the work." I don't know what I'm going to do. His voice is so loud. It's yelling at me. "You are so fucking worthless. No wonder they left you. Who could ever love someone as toxic as you? You're the one that pushed them away. You made this happen. You would always make this happen." The only thing is, Mr. Echo was right. My partner was cheating on me. My friends were talking about me. Everyone did leave me. I hear him repeating every word in my head as I struggle to write this down. Everyone will be better off without you. You're worse than worthless. You actually make everything worse for everyone else. You hurt the ones you care for the most. If you really cared about them, you would just do it. Do it! If you really care about them, then you would stop hurting them by killing yourself. Just fucking do it. It's better this way. I feel a sharp pain in my arm. Looking down, I can see a steady flow of red dripping off of my fingers. What did he do?
And now, for all the times that I fucked up, or as some people like to call it, the blooper reel.
And how my partner seems to be growing distant and doesn't want me to touch them. And he would help remind me of the answers to questions at school. He helped Mr. Echo and I sometimes talk about whether I should go to college. We go back and forth, and I try to pull my... I come home to an empty house. By this time, I'm so mentally... than on the days I have off of work, where I seem... No one will care. No one will even... Just jump in front of it, and it will all do the rest of the work. No wonder they left you. Who would... You would always make this happen. The only thing is... My friends were taking... You really cared about... I felt a sharp pin